All right.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
I swear I thought we weren't going to do the intro this time. All right, here we go. How to Ski It, episode 11.75, because this is our third take. But if you missed the first two takes, which unless you're Izzy, you missed the first two takes, we talked about I-70 is way better on a Thursday afternoon than Saturday. I'm sure most people are like, duh.
Yeah.
And then we went to Keystone. It'd been a long time since we've been to Keystone. Ryan, I know you've been skiing there, but I was pleasantly reacquainted with what at least used to be called the North Peak and a run that's dear to my heart called Ambush, which is a bump run that seems to just keep on going on. And then we went over to check the new expansion out, Bergman's Bowl. Ryan, tell us a little bit about Bergman's Bowl, the best bowl skiing you've ever done?
Yes and no. Wide open, obviously above tree line. There's hazards, just like every bowl has. I think it's a great area for people coming from the blue square, black diamond background and looking to get better at the ungroomed terrain because there's no risk involved. It's, 20, 25 degrees. It's pretty mellow and it's just wide open. You're not going to run into anything. You have the ability to traverse, to stop, to ski, to go fast. Big, wide open expansion area. It's great for Keystone. Gets people off the lifts at the bottom of the hill. And I think it's a great area for people who are looking to advance their skiing.
If I may, it is actually singular and not possessive. It is Bergman Bowl, not Bergman's Bowl.
Beginnerman's Bowl.
That's a great name for it.
And I don't want to bag on it because I'm super happy that Keystone did a massive expansion that honestly we didn't talk about. I didn't even know it was coming and then heard about it a few months ago. It's a huge expansion, gazillions of acres, I'm assuming. But like Ryan said, 20 to 25 degrees, very much intermediate bowl skiing at best. I'll bet on a powder day it would be awesome, but a great place if you're trying to understand what bowl skiing is, and a great place if you want to learn and say, can I do it? It seemed to me that it's high alpine. They needed a little bit more snow or maybe wind. There were some giant snow fences, and we gravitated right over into the snow fences and did find some soft snow, but we also found some rocks.
So the lift that services that, is it Bergman Lift also?
Bergman Express.
Okay.
Detachable.
And that's a new lift.
Yes. And I think it was a detachable quad. I was on it 2 days ago.
It was.
Okay. Was it? I just was saying it wasn't 6 people. It was 4.
It was 4.
Yeah. And it's fast and it goes up, but it doesn't go up. It goes a long ways, but there's not a lot of vertical gain because it's 20 degrees.
I'll tell you what though, it's a fun lift to take, ski the bowl, rip the bowl, and then continue down past where you got on the chair. It gives you a nice extra, 2,000 feet of elevation gain. You get some bowl skiing, you get, especially on a fresh day or even a warm day, recent snow, it's going to be soft, it's going to be good. High in elevation, you can get the extra, a couple feet in, and even if it's just a warm up.
Yeah, I liked it, but it's not my kind of skiing. I probably won't go back. I would go ski the bump runs off Santiago or go back to the Outback. And I will be going back to Keystone this year. I had a great time. They have great bumps. If you like evenly spaced out, well-built bumps that face north, which you'll hear us keep talking about to have better snow, you'll find it at Keystone. And then we moved on from there. And, we've talked about Apres Ski, and we needed some food, and we went to one of my favorite Apres Ski places, which is the Dam Brewery. And that was great. They had good food for sure, and good service.
Great service, great food, great beer.
Great beer.
Yeah, and it's a good price point.
Yeah.
And it's right there in Silverthorne. Even if you're on your way back from Copper or Vale or Beaver Creek, you can swing into Silverthorne,
Right
Stuck
off
in-
I-70, easy access. So
Stuck in traffic, go ahead, grab a beer and a burger and go about your day.
and go about your day. So, and then what we've been talking that we were going to do, we headed up and we went to Aspen and we skied Snowmass.
Yep.
And
that
we
was
had-
Friday.
That was Friday. We had a new skier with us, Isabel Bowman.
Shout out to Izzy.
Hi, guys.
Was an intermediate skier before Friday.
Was an intermediate skier. Yes. Izzy, we were talking to you.
Yes, I am a beginner to intermediate skier, and after this weekend, I will solidify my standing at intermediate skiing.
Borderline expert because we skied. Well, let's talk about Snowmass. They had an inch or two of snow. Not, you know what? Everyone's always like the front range, blah, blah, blah. Kind of, if you live over here, you talk down about it. But the snow at Snowmass was not as good as the snow at Keystone. To me, not even close.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk a little bit more. We went on to Highlands and it was good, better, but still not as good as like Winter Park, still not as good as Copper Mountain, Keystone. Those Summit County areas or those I-70 areas really did get the brunt of the storm.
It felt like it had gotten warm up here in Aspen. We're in Aspen right now recording the podcast, but it felt like when we were at Snowmass early in the morning, the snow was crunchy, crusty. It had gotten warm. There's not a whole lot of coverage. I mean, when we were coming up two creeks, you look down over the ravine and there's not
Grass,
two elks,
two creeks.
37 creeks.
12 C's,
we're
whatever
kill-
it's called.
We're killing our street cred by saying that we ski two creeks. But the reason we ski there is we can park right near the lift. It's carpool parking, so it was free. And then if Alpine Springs lift hadn't broken down, it's an easy way to get up to the mountain and stuff.
Yep.
So we did have a little bit of an issue. But overall, we skied Powerline. Awesome. It's on the map. It's called the Powerline Glades. It's like what I would call like a blue-black. It's a black on the map, but I would call it a blue-black. And then we went and skied Garrett's Gulch.
Yeah.
Dude, Garrett's Gulch was awesome.
It was awesome because
Powerline was awesome too.
it didn't have bumps in it.
Yeah.
Like I love Garrett's Gulch, but it gets fatiguing a lot. And that was Izzy's first fully bona fide black diamond, and you raced right down it.
Yeah, it was definitely invigorating for sure.
Well, I'd like to say it's actually false because we took her down Powerline first, and Powerline is a black.
I had just said it was a blue-black.
No,
I think it's a
not.
blue-black.
Regardless, it's a
The
great,
map says it's a black.
The map
regardless,
says it's a black.
it's a
That's
great
correct.
run for somebody in Isabel's shoes that wants to experience a blue, black, whatever they name it, but it has outs. So you can go in there, you can ski the bumps, and if you need to get out, you can get out and go to the groomer. You can go to the cat track that cuts, there's two that cuts through Powerline, and it just, I don't know, it worked out really well.
I still personally, I call it a blue-black. I'll talk on the other end of the scale if we're ready to move forward. So as the day came to an end, I think me and Ryan, and we were skiing as a group, there was 5 of us, were hoping to ski Rock Island. And it looks like it had been open, but the gate was closed. And then we went down below that, and I can't remember the name of the next glade. And then the next one was closed. And then we got down to one that I don't think I've ever skied, and it was called HOH. And I think HOH,
What's it stand for?
No,
don't
Dave looked
remember.
it up.
Hang on, Halvin.
That's it.
And I'd love if somebody could tell us why it's named that. But HOH, we said Marcus thinking that the others were closed. This one's open. It's probably in better condition. This would be a good place for you to get some experience at double blacks. And it was a double black diamond, but it didn't have the EX moniker, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it should have.
Let's hear from Marcus about his experience.
Well, the funniest part is looking back because going in there, we got to a point and it's like, okay, well, you're in it. You have to ski through it. There's no way out. And Dave's like, all right, okay, so you're going to make this turn right here. There's no other options. So you're going to turn right here. Do it. And you're like, okay, I can do this. He's like, all right, I'm going to kind of stay behind you. So if you fall or anything, and then we start looking down the run and it's so steep and there's like no lines. There's like one line and that line is make it or else. And Dave's like, you know what? I'm going to go in front of you and show you which lines to go, which turns to make. And then it gets to a point and he's like, okay, now jump turn. Okay, perfect. Now turn here. Now don't go with me here. Go that way. And you get to the bottom of the run and he was like, man, I don't think we should have taken you through that.
Yeah, I had a moment that I put my friend in a bad situation, but you aced it. And I do, like, not to quote myself, but I was like, take a turn here and you're just going to ski over these rocks.
Yes. He was like, and then you step over these rocks or you just slide over them, whichever one.
Because there wasn't any option.
It kind of came down to make a left turn and jump off this cliff, or make a right turn and go over these rocks.
Yep.
And then you can make another left turn.
And then Ryan, you made a left turn.
Oh yeah, and that was great. That was good for everybody. It was good old fashioned company. Yeah, the camera was on, and yeah, the rest is history. Check out socials.
Yeah, we'll post a photo of it that Ryan popped off some cliffs in HOH, and when he landed, one of his skis came off because he sank in a little bit, and then just went into full on wipeout mode, which is pretty sweet because as much as we've film a lot of what we do skiing, we film a small percentage of it, and we had the cameras out for that, so we got great footage of Ryan wiping out,
and
it was awesome.
No injuries, we were good.
Yep.
It goes to show you, HOH was soft. The bottom of that was super soft. I made a big snow cloud and nothing bad happened. I lost a ski and had to hike back up 100 yards, but that was my problem, not yours.
And overall, Snowmass was a good day. One thing I do want to point out, we went to, and I wish I knew the name, but it's right at the bottom of the Big Burn lift. There's like a midway restaurant kind of place. And a couple things about it. Well, first of all, it was great all around. But the way you check out is you put your tray underneath a camera and it sees what's on your tray and tells you how much to pay. And I thought that was pretty cool. And then we complained about the burgers at the midway at Copper Mountain. And man, I had a double cheeseburger there. It was $20 for a double cheeseburger, $19. But it might have been the best cheeseburger I've had in a long It was
really good.
It was really good. So all in all, like 2 thumbs up.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's like Ulrof or something.
Oh yes, ULLHORF.
It's like a play on like Euler, the god of snow.
The only building at the bottom of the Big Burn, if you want to find it. And then the last thing about Snowmass, we split up. Me and Marcus is like, we're going to go down one more run, and all we have to do is just, ski fast, but not dangerously fast, down to the gondola. We'll get there by 4:00 and ride up. And apparently the gondola closes at 3:30 now, which was news to me.
Yeah, it's like all of the lifts closed at 3:30.
And then we were stranded like 100 miles away from our car.
Fortunately, who came to the rescue?
Yeah, you guys came and picked us up.
Guess who had to pick them up?
Over at the base area. But Snowmass was good. It was a cloudy day. I was disappointed to take friends there and have a cloudy day because Snowmass is great with powder and sunshine. But let's move forward with the weekend because it just got better. And today we went and skied Aspen Highlands. To me, one of the best ski areas. I mean, Snowmass is one of the best ski areas in North America. But Highlands, we had a bluebird day and we skied all kinds of good stuff. For Marcus, what did you think? That had to be an experience skiing Aspen Highlands for the first time.
It was awesome, especially honestly, like getting to go top to bottom for, I think we did 2 solid runs that were just full top to bottom, never touching lift, and how long those runs were. Even if you just did blues, you just skied for 10, 15 minutes, and you can throw in moguls, and you can throw in blacks, and you can throw in double blacks, and it's just wild. And then getting to ski Deception was awesome.
Deception is just a classic. It's part of the Olympia Bowl, and it's called Deception because it starts out with,
Yeah.
you know, what amounts to like black diamond bumps. And then when you get to there's like a drop off, but you can't see that from where you start. And you get to the drop off, and then there's 250 yards of really steep bumps and classic stuff. And Marcus, you did it for the first time today.
Yep.
Ryan blew up, you know, didn't quite like cartwheel or anything, but had a big wreck on Deception.
Yeah, I mean, after 3 days of skiing really hard, really steep, bumpy runs, I'm going to attest to my quads giving up and catching an edge. And if you get over center, if your body weight moves downhill even a little bit on a run like that, there's really no way to recover. And I didn't. So I slid, I don't know, 100, 150 yards.
Yeah, you went away.
It was a while.
Lost the ski.
Yeah, but you were crushing it this weekend. Like, you were really pushing yourself. Like, it wasn't, you didn't just, you know, you weren't
Yeah, it was
dawdling
full
your way
speed,
down.
yeah.
You were making some serious turns.
Yeah, I didn't necessarily tip over, but at the same time, it's kind of my fault for not being in ski shape this time of year. I've definitely missed a few ski days that I should have taken.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that all comes into play on your third day at Aspen. And
Yeah, Highlands will bring that out.
yeah, Highlands is no joke. I mean, but I'd recommend it. It's a great run. It's shaded. It's on the north side of the hill.
It faces north.
And man, the bumps, the pitch, it's the perfect run.
It is one of the best runs at Highlands,
Dude,
for sure.
but hold on. On your way out, right? You take that cat track, and did anybody else feel like there were forces pulling you, like trying to take your ski off as you were going around that sharp turn?
It was weird.
No.
The first time, not the second time because I was aware of it, but the
Yeah.
first time, I swear I felt like I got two hands shoved towards the B netting. There's a sharp turn on the cat track out that puts you back onto one of the next blue square. I don't know the name of it. Robinson's. And right before that turn, I swear it felt like someone two-hand pushed me towards the B netting, and I was like, no, I don't like this at all.
I didn't like that at
Yeah.
all.
Maybe it's because you warned me. Because you warned me before I was going.
Yeah, because both Ryan and I were like, what in the world happened there? It was so weird. And we weren't even near each other when it happened. So it wasn't like a gust of wind that got both of us. It was just super weird.
It was kind of just the tracks in the ground. But I was also a little distracted by the view. The maroon bells are right there behind the aspen trees. And it's one of the most scenic runs I've ever skied.
Yeah.
At all. It kind of makes me like a loss for words. It's so beautiful.
It's
Yeah.
the full package.
But let's talk about the parking lot in the morning. When we got there, I thought, oh my goodness, today is going to be a nightmare. People couldn't park their cars. It was, people were parking straight on in the
Angled
parking, and it was just like pure chaos. And I thought, oh, is this representative of what the lift lines are going to be like today and what our experience is going to be?
They don't have lift lines over here. They don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Shout out to that Sequoia.
There were no lift lines. Yeah, there was one person that parked in like 3 spots, and tempers started to brew. Not from us. We were just observers. And then a bunch of people started barking at the person, and then they reparked their car, and there was a section of 3 cars that took up 6 spots.
They went from 3 to 2 spots.
And then the only lift line we saw today
That was super weird. Cloud 9,
was
right?
Cloud 9, and Cloud 9 only has 3 gates, singles, the one for a 4-pack or the groups, and ski school. And for some reason, people just came all down into the area, and they started giving each other stink eye for not merging, but there was no merge. People just they were making no line.
There was no line.
Yeah, they were skiing in from the side of the line and wanting people to merge. But like, we're not talking about front range lift lines.
No, not at all.
Like,
You're talking 3 minutes.
even what we're
And it
talking
was still
about was
weird.
like 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, and I think it was an anomaly. I feel like something else must have briefly stopped.
The
or
lift must
something.
have stopped or something
Yeah.
like that.
And because it was everywhere else was nothing even close to that. And the next time we went past that lift, it was gone as well.
And then one last thing about Highlands, we skied a really seldom known run. And I don't even know how to tell you to get to it. And it's not on the map, but it's called Cali with a K, Kalli. And me and Ryan skied it twice. And Cali can have really bad conditions. It faces east, but it was really good today. It made a lot of noise. There was some scraps in there, but all in all, it was soft. And we went through there with cameras rolling full tilt, and we'll cut some of that video out and do one of our how to ski it videos. We're going to do one on deception. We shot that today, and we shot Cali today. But in Cali, we took the Insta 360 cam, and I gotta be honest, I've shot with that for a year, and I still can't get used to how cool the Insta 360 1-inch is.
Yeah.
We're just breaking the ice on how to use that for how to ski it.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
It's so cool. If you want to get a camera and record yourself
Yeah.
skiing, or
That's the one.
me and Ryan were skiing in very tight proximity, so we were recording both of us. And then something Ryan did is he flew by me on the run and grabbed the camera out of my hand. Like, I didn't know that he was going to do it. And he just went yoink and took the camera. And just what a cool concept of one person skiing along and the other person's behind them. And so Cali at Highlands, short, but super awesome run, like
Short,
style points.
Not too steep, but definitely challenging in the fact that it's tight.
It's tight.
It's some tight trees with a lot of unmarked obstacles. I mean, we jumped off a little log, like a tree that had fallen down. There was some stuff sticking out of the snow. It was like, whoa, 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 watch that. But the snow conditions were fantastic. Like you said, they were noisy, but then there was untouched powder.
Yeah, it was a
wasn't powder
unique.
to say, but it was.
And we hit it
untouched
twice
snow.
because of it. It was so good. We came back and hit it again. So all in all, Highlands was amazing.
Great.
Highlands was Highlands. Highlands on a sunny day, you can't beat it. I'm sure Snowmass and Ajax were good today, but Highlands was Highlands. It was awesome.
You know what my favorite part was? Was that we didn't go down to deep temerity. We didn't do we skied some hard runs, but we just had a good time on the front side of the mountain.
Yeah.
The first 2 hours was ripping groomers, just ripping groomers, the fresh corduroy, just bombing, and just having fun and being
Making turns, let's be clear.
no, yes, that's exactly
No straight lining.
No, and that's what I'm getting. We were making turns. We had so much fun just skiing.
Yeah.
We didn't have to blow up our quads or, challenge
Yeah.
ourselves. We just had a good time skiing, and that was the best part of the day.
I wouldn't have admitted that we went to Highlands and skipped deep temerity, but we did. And we skipped the Highlands Bowl too. But the Highlands Bowl isn't every day. And for me, and this is going to tell everybody how soft I am, when the snowcat that only goes like 1/16 of the way up isn't open, I don't typically do the Highlands Bowl.
Yeah, but hold up. When we did it, the cat wasn't running.
I'm surprised I was a part of that. The cat and smelling the the fuel and it has this distinct smell of a snowcat is like half the experience. And I'll bet the Highlands Bowl was awesome today because it was a Bluebird day.
Yeah.
But big kudos, and let's keep moving forward unless anybody has anything to add to Highlands. But then,
Well, I just want to say one thing. Izzy crushed it today.
Yes.
Like, honestly, Highlands is a challenging mountain that doesn't have a ton of beginner type stuff. And she was willing to go where we took her, and she was aggressive. She made turns. And I think one of the coolest things about skiing with your friends is pushing yourself. You're going on places that you wouldn't normally go, doing things that you wouldn't normally do when you're skiing with people who are a different ability than you are. And I know me personally, I've always been lucky to ski with people who are better than me. And so I just kudos to her for being a gamer today.
How was it?
I had a lot of fun. It was really exciting. When we were on our first chair up, the people next to us put the bar down and the mountain was shown and there were no greens, and I had a little bit like a moment of panic, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's not one single green on this mountain. I don't know if I can do it. How am I supposed to warm up? But I mean, that's what's really nice about skiing with all these guys is they're so knowledgeable about the mountain that they can tell me, hey, this is the run that we're going on, but if you need a dip out, it's right there. And that gave me a lot of confidence to try it. And if I hated the bumps and I hated the run we were on, I had the opportunity to either take it really slow and know that they'd be waiting at the bottom or just dip out and go on a groomer myself.
But you didn't. You didn't dip out on any of them.
Yeah, I definitely thought about it a few times. What was the last one we did?
moment of truth.
What was it? Robinson. That was the one that was super hard. That was a really challenging one, but I think that I learned from it and I got better.
No, it was moment of truth.
Oh,
Yeah, Robinson was the groomed one.
Robinson so it starts out up above and it's blue and then it turns black, but it doesn't have moguls. I think they groom it or whatever. We went down moment of truth next to it. And that's where I think we pushed you to your limit. People listening right now are like, what jerks?
But wait a minute. We gave her the choice of Robinson and said, you can do Robinson, which is no bumps, but it's a black, or you can come with us and we're going to do moment of truth. And she, true gamer fashion, said, I'm in, and went for it. And she did great.
She was deceived a little bit on the steepness of moment of truth.
100%. Yeah, that. I don't think I looked down all the way, but yeah, I mean, that was great about skiing with you guys is I followed Mel all the way down. She was like, just follow my turns. And that made it so much easier to see a clear path. And moguls can be really intimidating for a skier like myself. And seeing someone right in front of you do it, you're just like, okay, great. I see the line she took. I'm going to go right there. And we made it.
You did great today. And I hope anybody that's listening, like if you love skiing as much as we do, bringing friends and family into skiing and not pressuring them. Like that's one thing we didn't do with Izzy. We might have deceived her, but we
Unintentionally. I said deceived, but it was unintentional.
Liar, liar, pencil.
But we didn't pressure. We didn't, hey, we didn't give you any ski tips today. We were like, here's where to go, have fun. We gave you a lot of here's where to go, but we weren't like, keep your skis together, do this, that's next time. But
I did give her one. I told her, I looked at her pants to see if she had zippers on the inside of her thighs. And I said, I need you to start having a little more fabric touching your legs as you're going. So that was my only tip of the day.
She listened.
Yeah.
As the day went on, it got better and better.
can have the swishy pants.
Swishy, swishy.
I think the last thing about Aspen Highlands is the ski karma.
Yeah, that's right.
There was kind of a big incident today. But before we get to the incident, this morning, we went and we bought a giant bag of the Favor Red Starburst, and we got a bag of Jolly Ranchers. Because who do we love more than anyone in this world?
My wife?
Lift ops.
Lifties.
Yeah.
And you should have seen the looks on their face when we handed them a handful of Starburst and Jolly Ranchers. Even the ski patrol, they were stoked.
Everybody was pumped.
The stoke level was super high, but it goes back to that ski. The littlest thing goes such a long way. And then Dave can tell you a little bit about Ski Karma. He ate up pretty much all of the Ski Karma he's ever had.
Yeah, well, first of all, you handed out candy like gave me a warm spot in my heart. That just how excited everybody was when Ryan gave him candy. But the funniest thing is because we had a group of 5 and the chairlifts at Highlands are 4 bangers. We had to split up in groups of 3 and 2 many a times. And one time he went in front of us and gave the people candy. And as they were eating it, I was like, that weirdo's handing out edibles. And the one girl like threw it in her mouth as I said that. And the other guy was like, good. And they were just starbursts, of course, but it was just kind of funny. More that it was just this really positive attitude on the mountain today. But yeah, my Ski Karma, I had a senior moment today and I was going to dump some footage off of our 360 cam because I knew it was going to be awesome. I knew the 360 footage was going to be awesome and I wanted to look at it on my phone. And so I put my phone between my legs and then my 360 camera, it turns out the battery had died. And then I never grabbed my phone between my legs. And so I got up, skied off for the second time this year, left something on the chairlift. And then I raced to the bottom when I knew my phone was gone and told the lift op, hey, I think I left my phone on the chair and it might be coming around the horn. But because we didn't have internet at that spot, we were like, we're going to get on the chair and use Find My iPhone. And we were going up the chair and there it was. We saw it. We looked down and saw it on the slope. And so if you ever have this situation, pay attention to what tower it is. And so then I saw it was Tower 11. So we rode it all the way up, skied down to Tower 11 and it was this like little line of parts. It went phone, wallet, the kind that magnets on the back, driver's license, credit card, all spread out, all in good condition. I got it back. And it didn't really take any time out of our day.
No.
We just had to ski a couple cruiser runs to recoup all the parts I had lost. But
let's say a huge kudos to the iPhone 15 for being able to take a dump of at least 30 feet.
It was a solid.
yeah, it was easily 30 feet. So Ski Karma is real, like push and give back and help people. And as Ryan did, hand out candy and stuff like that. So then we wrapped it up at Highlands.
Wait, we went to the Ritz-Carlton. I mean,
I wasn't even going to mention that because it wasn't that great of an experience.
No, well, it was
terrible.
for
Mel and I
Ryan
had a really
and I.
good time. We sat there by the gas fireplace and
I had a cranberry orange mule. Ryan, you had a
Coors Latte, 2 of them.
But it was lovely. It was a lovely experience for Ryan and I. So don't just bypass that because you guys.
We sat in the
Took
sun.
an
I got
extra
more of a
run.
tan. My goggle tan's coming in real nice.
Oh, I'm sorry. We were skiing.
Yeah, we went
That's
to
all right.
So
we rode
I
all the
may
way
or may
back
not
up
have
to the
crashed a second
Loges
time and needed some time away from the hill.
and bombed all the way back down. But then where I was going, because we got to get through the rest of the evening, then where I was going, we went to the J Bar. The
Yeah.
Jerome Hotel has a bar in it called the J Bar. We've said it's the best Apres Ski in the galaxy.
I have to agree.
And it
Wow.
was. They delivered. We not
Yeah.
only had amazing service, the people watching
Incredible.
is incredible. The number of fur coats and just beautiful people and stuff like that. But we had great service, great food, gluten-free onion rings for a couple of our gluten-free people. But all in all, what a day.
Yeah, incredible.
And the J Bar was great. And then
The J Bar delivered.
delivered. And the burger I had at Snowmass the day before was the burger of the year until I went to the J Bar, which absolutely had the burger of the year.
And in case anybody is wondering, yes, I try really hard to get Dave to not eat a hamburger every day, but I can only do so much.
How are you going to compare all the hamburgers if you don't have one every day?
Well, let's talk about our meals. Isabel had the half bird. She got half a chicken.
That looked good.
It was
Yeah, it did.
it was really good.
It was slathered in French fries.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I had the lamb ribs. Dave had the burger. Mel had the,
Short ribs with broccolini.
which was so much food.
It was so much food.
Marcus?
I had a French dip that it tried to take me out. It tried to be like, you can't eat all this. And I showed it who was boss for
And then
sure.
I don't think we mentioned the purple cornbread.
Which
Yeah, it was like a
delicious.
blueberry cornbread.
It's called blue corn.
And then plus,
It's
Mel,
not blueberry. It's blue corn.
It wasn't. It was not.
It had honey and butter.
Maybe it was the honey that
Yeah.
that made it seem like blueberry, but there was something else going on in there, not just blue corn.
Either way,
the boys here had beers. Mel and Isabel had a ginger drink.
Yeah, it was awesome. It's called a bear trap, and it's fabulous. I could only have one, though, because I was driving.
But nonetheless, an experience, an awesome one at that. And
Aspen's great.
then,
But then,
I think I'm going to take a different road. Then the whole reason we came up here is Winter X. So then we went to the X Games. We had at Highlands, there was a guy on the chairlift that was like, he was like, I wouldn't say he like said thumbs down, but he gave us some reasons it might not be great, but we didn't take his advice. We parked at the Intercept lot. So you can't just go park at the X Games. So we parked at the Intercept lot, rode the shuttles. The shuttles were awesome.
Awesome.
we talked
Yeah.
about security.
no.
Security for some of the people in our team had some contraband removed from them, and they're bitter about it. And you know what? We do events, so it's really hard for me to be super critical about other people that do events, but I will be critical here. One of the few things I'm going to be critical about, here's the stuff you can't take through the secure zone, which is when you get on the bus 5 miles away from the venue, was like as you got on the bus,
Yeah.
instead of where you get in line.
And the line's 2 blocks long.
And it should have been somewhere earlier up, because after you put your skin in the game waiting in that line, you're going to take your chances with your contraband. And Marcus, you smuggled a
Selfie stick.
selfie stick in.
That's my boy.
With
And
Mel's help.
I've never been so proud of my friends that they got shut down. They're like, this can't go in. And as Marcus is explaining, like he understands the rules, he like hands it around the magnetometer to somebody else.
Yeah.
We shouldn't even admit this stuff.
Yeah, but the best part was that there were no words exchanged. All of it happened with eye contact.
And it wasn't that they were doing a bad job. So the
No.
people at the magnetometer there, they weren't doing a bad job. You guys are just slick as can be,
Yeah.
I appreciate them. They keep us safe. You know, it's a
except from
massive
selfie sticks.
It's a mass event to keep us safe, and you know,
But
Yeah.
then we went to the X Games, and we weren't there that long. You guys went to get a beer, and
45-minute wait at least to
Yeah.
get into the Pacifico Beer Garden, the only place that they're serving beer. Only place. And not that beer is everything, but I would like to drink a Pacifico and watch
Yeah.
the big air and hang out and just enjoy myself, but I can't wait in that line.
Well, I mean, you wait in that line. I assume you're allowed to get one. I don't
You
know.
can't
That's-
leave with it.
You can't leave the beer garden with it.
No, absolutely not. So you're stuck in the beer garden watching it on a Jumbotron. Why wouldn't I go home to the case of beer in the fridge?
Yeah.
That was
That's
kind of
interesting. I do get the beer garden thing. Like, yeah, having a location where you can have the alcoholic beverages. I get that.
and they had a DJ and they had
Yeah.
speakers and they were pumping it out. And I'm sure they were $5 beers or whatever and affordable. But man,
Yeah.
I want to watch the X Games.
but even beer or no beer, the new setup this year is if you want to stand close, you had to buy like a VIP package or a VIP ticket. So we stood in the back, and that didn't really bother me. I didn't think like my view was that bad.
Not at
We
all.
were looking through like a lift maintained tower and some lift wires, but I wasn't upset about my view. I felt a little bit disenfranchised. And this is where I'm not going to be critical about an event. They had their reasons for charging to get up close. But for me, I wasn't like, okay, so you got to make money, you charge for people to get up close. But it kind of, for me, was, it didn't ruin it, but I didn't really want to stay much longer. And I was like, that's about enough for me. Why don't we get out of here? And then where are we now?
Home.
Watching it on TV.
I kind of felt unwanted.
Yeah, and that's what I meant
They
by
had-
disenfranchised. But yeah,
they had a
unwanted.
5-foot B net in between us and the run. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, but it's also, we've been before a lot of times, and so it was a totally different experience. If it was your first time, maybe you wouldn't feel that way if you weren't with people like us that were like, it used to be different than this.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And the other thing for me, like I said, I probably won't go back, but not out of because I'm like pissy about it. But now that there's no concerts, there's no snowmobiles,
Yeah.
and now I got to stand in the back. And the other big thing, and we work at events and we've seen events change dramatically, but there wasn't really much of an expo. You know, there wasn't much of like vendors. And I remember our first year, we walked out of there with like, not our first year, but maybe 10 years ago, bags of swag and cool trinkets and baseball hats. And, you know, everybody had giveaways and there just wasn't any vendors. There was X Games merch. There was amazing athletes at a distance. The audio was good. We do events. That's one of the things we do. Kudos.
And the screens, like you could see the screens, you could see what was going on.
It was cool to watch like the women that were doing the big air drop in on the screen, and then you kind of figured out when to look up at the jump.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
And
was
then
cool.
and then you saw them launch into the air and throw these tricks. And you're like, holy smokes!
And
I also thought they
smashing
had
it.
cool little like the little light things. You know, they had some like
Yeah.
cool little like
But like a free sticker would have been cool. I remember I went to a Summer X Games once when it was in Philadelphia, like the big half pipe. And I walked out of there with a stack of stickers as tall as I was at the time. You know?
Yeah.
All they were handing out was a program and, you know, go buy tickets.
yeah, it's changing, but so are the events that we work at.
Very
And
true.
some of the things we know behind the scenes at the events we work at, this is why. And so I don't know the whys at the X Games, but if you haven't gone, go. To get the perception and be able to understand how big these jumps are. And we're watching it on TV right now. But man, when we were there, 4 blue lines down is like a block and a half.
Can we talk about when we were driving by this morning on our way to Highlands and we saw those dudes throwing those giant single backflips off the big air jump?
Yeah, impressive.
And we're on the road we're passing Buttermilk, and these guys are in the air for 2, 3, 4 seconds at a time. You can't comprehend it until you see it in person.
You can't comprehend it until you see it in person. It's perfect.
It was really cool to see the size of it in person. Standing where we were able to stand, you couldn't see the jump over the knuckle,
Yeah, the landing.
Yeah. Yeah.
which was wild.
That's a good.
Let's see what Alex Hall has here.
Yeah. And we're watching it on TV right now. And to be really clear, the athletes, amazing.
Yeah.
I love what they did with the big air, that the first round is style. And sometimes
Yeah.
when somebody does like 5 helicopters, it kind of like boggles my mind to the point I don't really understand what they're doing. But when they did those style jumps where they just did something like a smaller trick but went for more air, I was super impressed with that. And
Well,
that was a cool addition this year.
But so for me, the thing with the X Games is after a big day of skiing like we had, I love to just come home, watch it on TV. Like it is really made for TV.
It's warmer.
It's way warmer.
Yeah.
I wasn't cold.
No, it wasn't cold this year. We had warm weather all the way from Keystone through Snowmass, Highlands. And then the shuttle stuff they do a great job with that. They got us there. But then riding the shuttle back
Was
Changed-
amazing.
it
Was
changed
amazing.
everything.
I don't think it was a bunch of drunk people. I think it was just a bunch of happy people.
Yeah, it was just good vibes.
Ski culture is not dead.
Ski culture is not dead. And they had loud, quality sound
Yep.
on the bus and then quality music. Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer. And it ended with like everybody on the bus singing the chorus.
Yeah,
It was,
And
Everybody
Chains
was
by,
singing it.
yeah, The Chain by Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
And they played that also. That to me just, okay, that made it all worth it. But yeah, I don't think you want, I think one thing in events that we
Well-
know is you want people's last impression to be the best. But I don't think you want the bus ride.
But it really was. Did you
It's a great
put it
bus.
on TikTok?
Yeah, it's on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook.
I think that was the bus driver.
Yes,
I
I
think
think so
that
too.
vibe
You're
because
number one.
I agree.
he was cracking jokes. We rode the bus there, so there's lots of buses, but he was our bus driver there and our bus driver home, and I think it was because of him.
I agree.
Yeah, but people were stomping on the floor. They were pumping their fists in the air, singing the lyrics. It was
was
pretty
a party.
special.
It was a party.
So Marcus and then Izzy, we're going to ask you next too, so you might want to grab a microphone. What did you learn this weekend about skiing?
I think that something that I have come away with that I've been learning this year especially is that confidence is obviously you need the skill to be able to do something, but once you have that skill, having the confidence that you can execute that skill under pressure or when the terrain gets steeper or more bumpy is a game changer. I feel like my increase in ability this year has been largely due to my increase in confidence. Part of that coming from new skis, but part of that just coming from my decision that this year I'm going to get good enough to ski trees and being confident enough to try things.
Under pressure. Dun, dun,
Yeah,
dun,
mine's
dun, dun.
mine's very similar to that. It's all about being confident, which is definitely something I struggle with. But coming from an somewhat athletic background, it makes the skiing make sense. Like when I ski with people and I watch them, like Dave and Mel and Ryan and Marcus, it makes sense of, okay, they did this. Like I can follow their line. That's kind of how I learned in all of sports. But a big thing that I really loved and learned from this weekend is skiing with people that you trust. Like I trust that these guys, as much as they want to challenge me, I know that they would really never put me in a situation where they didn't think I could handle it. And that's what helped me push myself too. Cause I'm like, well, shoot, they can believe in me. Like what's holding me back? And it's just myself. So going right along with Marcus is just having the confidence to be able to push myself down that mountain.
Nice. That gives me warm fuzzies hearing both you guys say that
Yeah.
stuff. So kudos. An amazing X Games weekend. We kind of cracked jokes that we might not go to the X Games, and we did. But just coming up, if you get the chance to go ski the Aspen Snowmass areas, they're not very crowded. It's the best skiing in the world.
It's great.
And I know I said that about Vail this year too. It's all the best skiing in the world. Wherever you're skiing this weekend is probably the best skiing in the world.
Anywhere you can ski is the best skiing in the world.
Is the best skiing in the world. And we're going to make a trip down to Telluride. And it's been at least, 30 years since I've been to Telluride. And we're going to ski with a guy named Tom Watkinson. And we're going to ski the spiral staircase and the plunge, which is all I remember from 30 years ago. So there might be better terrain there now, but we're going to go do that and get more fit and keep skiing and look forward to episode 12 since we're at 11.75. And then
Perfect.
I had some more stuff to say. No, I really didn't.
Knuckle Huck.
Knuckle Huck. We're watching the Knuckle Huck. Kudos
right.
to Winter X and all the athletes. We didn't want to be too critical, and I don't want to take anything away from the progression and the things we see. Kudos to the athletes. Kudos to Marcus and Izzy for taking their skiing up a notch.
Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and YouTube, all at How to Ski It.
For Marcus, Isabel, Dave, Melinda, and I'm Ryan. We'll see you next time.
Woo!